Hey, everybody, welcome back. And we are down here in beautiful Vancouver, Washington for my wife's birthday weekend. So, working off a slightly different computer. So, it'll be interesting to see how today turns out. Anyway, you can tell we've got some beautiful settings here in this lovely hotel. And I can say that if you ever get a chance coming down here, staying at the Marriott AC, definitely get the corner room with the river view because it is stunning to say the least. Anyway, so let's get the show on the road. So, first of all, it says, listen, hey, we got a refi boom. We've got some mixed messages going on in the market. And really, at the end of the day, what the heck is going on? We're going to go over that and just hold on 2 seconds. Okay, so there's been a lot of information out there. And in fact, one of the key things that came out is that when the feds actually dropped mortgage rates, and in fact, to me, it's absolutely hilarious how many marketing messages we've seen that have said, hey, look, the Fed's rate dropped half a point. You need, if you're a buyer, you need to get out there, you need to buy something right away. And I'm like, time out. Fed rates have nothing to do with long-term mortgages. You need to watch the bonds. You need to watch mortgage-backed securities. Like what we talk about each and every week, the feds control your HELOCs, your home equity line of credit. That's about as close to home as you get. Pardon the pun. Anyway, or maybe pun intended. So if you have a credit card, if you're getting a car loan, if you're getting a business loan, if you have commercial real estate, or if you're a bank that lends to each other, that is what the Fed controls. So as we take a look at this, and let's pop into our first slide here. We have the refi boom, loan limits. We're going to go over and mortgage rate misdirection. And there's a lot of things. And as you can see in the what the heck is that? My chart, you can see how that rate actually has been playing around. Because remember, mortgages are based on bonds, and bonds move every single day. Bonds move with the stock market, and so do mortgage rates. See, the feds get together once every 6 weeks. And the difference is when you look at that is it is super simple. If the banks are lending to each other and they do a one-day loan, that is different than you doing a 30-year mortgage. Completely different. And that's, again, why it's important to understand the difference between Fed rate and long-term rates. Now, yes, you can watch the 10-year Treasury. The two freakishly follow each other, although they are not tied in any way, shape, or form. And that's, again, another super important message to keep in mind. So as we pop over and we take a look at some of the highlights of the week, you can see that mortgages are down to about 6.2. Again, we're lower than we were last year at this time by about almost 1.25 points. However, refis have absolutely taken off, which is completely expected because, listen, when you had folks a year ago that were tying into things, even in September, October of last year, that's when we started seeing rates coming down. Once you start to see that 1% difference today from what you locked into at, then you have a great opportunity of doing a refinance and getting your payment down. Just understand that anything less than that is a little different. Plus, we had a lot of folks actually that came in and said, George, the heck, man, why are these refinance rates not the same as what I'm seeing marketed out there? And that's another really important message. You see, most of what you see marketing for interest rates, that's called new money. You get you're buying a new home. It's a new purchase. And that is completely different than a refinance, and even more different if you're doing a cash out refinance. And they have what's called add-ons. So if you are doing a refinance, okay, well, you're going to pay a higher rate, many times as high as 1/4 to 3/8. If you're doing a cash out, meaning you're cashing out a credit card or your HELOC or something like that, and so you have a first and a second. Now you're going to make it just a first. You will pay a higher rate, and you're like, whoa, hang on a second, man. Those are home loans. Yes, but it is considered a cash out because you are cashing out a loan instead of just doing a direct refinance of one mortgage. So keep that in mind as you're looking at rates. If you see today's par pricing is, you say 6.25, more than likely you're going to see 6.5, 6 5/8 for a refinance rate. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It just depends on each lender's programs, which kind of leads into the second story. So if we come back to this and we talk about some of the mortgage rate misdirection, well, that's not really a misdirection necessarily. What they're saying is every November, the banks and the FHFA, basically the group that determine what loan limits are going to be based on the average home price versus income in certain areas. And every area is completely different. King, Pierce, and Snohomish County always tend to be bulked together, whereas Kitsap or Thurston or Okanagan County in our areas will have a different basically loan balance. But King, Pierce, and Snohomish County, those will be similar. Those numbers come out about every November. However, there are some banks that will actually take a look at the metrics since they have 10 of the 12 months and say, hey, here's the direction. It's pretty consistent what they do and how they do their math, and they can project with pretty much a lot of certainty what the next loan limits are going to be so that they can start adjusting their loan programs and invite or entice people to come in because they know that they will meet the Fannie, Freddie, FHA, USDA, VA guidelines, right? So they'll start gearing those programs up. And that's part of what they're saying is a misdirection. I wouldn't really call it that. I just call it being proactive. I like being proactive. All right. So as we kind of head back here to our screenshot, we did put up there, should we refinance? Look, that's a free calculator that is going to be in the comment section down below, the additional information. It's free. There's no login. There's nothing you need to do. Nobody ever knows you're even on the site. Go in, plug that in and see, hey, based on what we're looking at today, what is, what am I going to look at? But pick up the phone, be careful what you're seeing online because that's called marketing. Pick up the phone, call a couple of lenders. If you need some lenders, let me know. We'll post them here for you. And you can take a look at what is par pricing for refinances today. And you can plug that into the calculator and poof, you'll get your answer, or at least something that will be close to it. Just saying. All right. So with that, when we talk about that kind of thing, let's talk a little bit about Freddie Mac. And again, you see the big thumbs up there. Basically, we're 1.23, 1.24% last year over year. And you can see that our blue line, which is 30-year mortgages, green line being the 15-year, they have been going down in a downward trend really since October of last year. Now, yes, they did have their normal rise about mid-April, which is our spring market. And then, of course, it started falling back down again. Okay. So how does that translate into what we're doing? So funny enough, on the left-hand side, what you're seeing there is days on market where you see the 4 with an arrow heading upwards. That right there is telling us that, hey, for the same month, year over year, we are 4 days more on market longer than what we were at, for the month of September. And since we're almost at the end, that means that homes are staying on the market longer. However, year to date, our average is only 32 days on market versus 35. So as a whole, balancing out the last 9 months, we're actually down just about 3 days. However, it's more relevant in real time. What is the market trending? And you will start to see some of that market trend in a positive direction, meaning that we're going to see some increase in market times as we head into the seasonal colder fourth quarter. We're going to see a little bit of a bump in October. We normally do. If we start to see rates come down, hey, we actually will probably see market times come down. If we have the same level of activity as last year, it's going to stay pretty shallow, and we're probably going to be between the 30 and 36 days on market on average, depending on which county and which municipality you're in. So because each one, well, they're entirely different. The east side sells differently than, say, down in Tacoma, or vice versa. Seattle will sell differently than Everett. And those are just things to keep in mind. Each area is a little bit more unique to itself. If you have a specific need, let us know. We'll fire off a free report for you. All right. So you might say, okay, so if we're selling at 97% of list price instead of 98, and we're starting to see a few more homes coming on market, which were at about 30% more, not really a big deal because our inventory is so low. To add 3,000 more homes, that's pretty much peanuts. But as you can see, our 7-day running average, let me blow this up a little bit bigger for you here. You can see that we had 1,190 homes that came on market, 1,443 that went off market. Okay, well, we are still seeing then a very positive trend where we're seeing more homes coming off market than on. That is a normal, I would say, a normal thing over the last 18 months that has been very consistent. Sure, 2022, when rates almost went in a vertical climb there, and then of course plateaued for a long time. Sure, things slowed down, and hence that's why 18 months. And as we have been drawing down that inventory, we are seeing again more sellers being a little bit more proactive, and many times because of life changes. Perfectly normal, and that is good to see, because if we come back here and we take a look at the fact that for every home that's coming on, we've got, one and a little bit, probably 1.3, 1.2 homes going off, but we're also seeing 921 price reductions. Well, that's a little bit on the tougher nut side of things. That just means that there's a number of sellers or agents that what we call bought a listing. They overpriced, they overpromised to get your business. That's called buying a listing, not the listing agent buying your house. That's just buying a listing because they gave you a number that you really like. And then they'll just beat you down on price until you hit market value, or you just cancel because that's not going to work. Sellers just have some what we call sentimental equity, which has zero value, and the market does not see that sentimental value. They're very smart as far as buyers out in the market today. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Overpricing your home is the kiss of death. Just saying, hands down. And we can go into that more later. All right. So as we pop back here and we take a look at this information, remember, if you're looking for super accurate, real-time information, just cue in. Look, every time you subscribe, every time that you come in and ring that bell and hit a like, it helps others see this. There's no marketing here. There's no selling, just really solid information. So you just make the best business decision for you and your family. That's it. All right. In the meantime, let's kick back here. So when we take a look at this, you can see that our trend, so the middle column there actually, as you can see, says it's 30% more on pended homes. That translates, as you see the arrow over, to our sales, which are up 1.7% year over year. And that's just super awesome. So if I blow this up a little bit bigger, just looking at the month of September, since we're at the end here, look, we're up 30% on pended. We're up 7.7 on sales. New on market is up 20%. Well, that's only 1,200 homes. Same, I could say down below, it's only 1,300 homes on the pended. But as you can see, that is a bigger number compared to what we saw last year. So we're seeing a proportional number of homes coming on market and as far as going off market. Now, that also means that we're really in a very balanced market. We're not weighted any way or the other. We're not seeing a massive influx of homes coming on. We're not seeing a massive amount of homes going off. We're very balanced, and I think that the new norm at 2.3 months of inventory, 2 months of inventory, is our new norm and has been for the last 10 years. And I think that we're going to continue to see that at least for the next 4 to 5 years as we forecast moving forward. All right, so let's pop back in here again. There we go. So when we take a look at new construction, so funny enough, new construction freaking rallied. I am absolutely shocked at how well new construction actually rallied. Let me blow this up for you guys here. Look, before we were at about, almost 2-3% behind in sales. Our pended were absolutely struggling. And look at this, in the month of September, they have absolutely just kind of bumped forward to where we're, basically the same number of sales year over year. Instead of being negative, we're well, they're just 3 homes off, right? That's nothing. And then of course the pendant, they really caught up because they were in the 4% negative, and now we're only 3%, and they are absolutely catching up. It's only about 100, 200, let's call it 225 homes, 205 homes different as far as pendant. And that is a big deal, because in the last, I would say this month, but really in the last week, they had a massive influx of buyers coming in, tying up properties, which is everything that they needed. And you might say, George, why is new construction struggling so hard? Super simple. You have a bunch of resale homes coming on that are at a better price, and they're, people don't have to spend as much, and they're seeing, better alternatives, plus probably being in areas that they prefer to be in versus in the pocket communities where new construction is being relegated to, because, well, there's a lot less land to build on. Then they are moving in that direction. So builders had to offer other incentives, in which they ended up attracting just a number of folks coming in, which is super awesome. Okay. Good for the builders and whatnot. So when we head off into bank owned, all right. So I don't have access to, I guess on this tiny little screen, I don't really have access to all of the big numbers. So I'm not going to go into it, excuse me, other than to say, listen, REOs are holding their own. We are seeing a few REOs coming online. Absolutely, totally normal. You're going to see that start to fall off, especially as we're heading into November. Banks politically, strategically do not like to foreclose people through November and December. It's better to wait until January, February. One, you can keep a home occupied, and two, politically, nobody wants a bad rap, in case they have a foreclosure that goes sideways. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Here's the key thing for everybody that's out there. If you need any information, reach out to us. Again, there's no marketing. There's no strings attached. It's just all really good information for you. Have an absolutely beautiful weekend. It is absolutely stunning here in Vancouver, Washington. And in the meantime, you guys have a beautiful day. I will enjoy the rest of this birthday weekend with my wife. And you guys have a great time. I'll see you on the next video.